Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tiger Campbell has literally doubled his 3-point percentage from last year to this year. What has gone into that, and how much does that help the team right now?
It's all coaching. um, huge for our team. Huge. I thought during our tournament run last year, that was our one weakness offensively, the teams that weren't guarding him. Now we hope they don't guard him. Because as I told you in the preseason, he had been our best shooter all summer. And he has lived in the gym. So no, it's all the credit goes to him. Just proves that, some people think that shooting are slumps or luck, and they're not. It's a matter of dedication, a commitment to getting better technically, developing muscle memory and putting the reps in. People say you got to have confidence. Well, it's hard to have confidence if the ball doesn't go in, right? So it's like Darren Savino on 5-foot putts. Why would he be confident? He never makes one. So, got to give Tiger all the credit. It's been huge for our team from an offensive standpoint.
Is his form any different, or is it just?
He was a little flat-footed at times. So we've tried to get him to finish on his toes. When you show him a little bit of video, he was just a touch flat-footed. His elbow was always under the ball. His hand placement was always correct. I didn't like his follow-through, and he wasn't finishing, wasn't with his legs the way aggressively finishing into his shot. But again, you can talk about that stuff. You got to put in about 10,000 shots in the off season for that to become natural for the next season. And he did that. So he's just reaping the benefits. When you work on something the right way, it's like, putting money in the bank. You're going to get to take it out later.
And then one more Tiger question. His 4.3 assist to turnover ratio is off the charts. He was always good in that department, but it seems to maybe even have taken it to a different level. You combine that with his 3-point shooting. I mean, it sounds like, and he's Pac-12 Player of the Week. Now we're talking about a guy who could be a candidate for Player of the Year in the conference.
Yep, no doubt. Well, we got a long way to go. A lot of games left. Consistency is what all these guys are trying to achieve. So we'll see how that goes. But that's what I want. I want him to chase that. My talks with him in the offseason were you got to go from good to great. You got to challenge yourself. You can't accept being good. The fact that I didn't want him to think, well, we went to a Final Four and I was a good player. That's not enough. We need you to become a great player. And you got to chase your dreams. And to do that, you can't put in the same effort and expect a different result. So he's put in much more effort. He's gotten much better, and he's just reaping the benefits of his off-season work. And it's made us a much better team in a lot of ways. But his assist to turnover, Ben, has always been great. Not a surprise in that aspect.
All right, let's go to Tracy Pearson, Bruin Report.
Hey there, Mick.
What's up, Tracy?
What have you seen?
Is this a wellness check on you? Are you below ground?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm fine. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Have you seen opponents change in their approach to defending Johnny Juzang? Maybe marking him more, knowing where he creates his shot. Just generally a change from this year from last year.
A little bit. They're more familiar with him. He didn't play in the Pac-12 last year. I'd say definitely more of an awareness on him for sure. But as the end of the season wore on, the tournament wore on, I think that was the case late in the year last year. But I would say more consistent this year as far as what I would call marking him, and people, our opponents knowing where he's at all times.
How much does it help? You alluded to it. How much does it help to have Tiger shooting so well from the outside in opening up chances for Johnny and for other guys?
Yeah, for everybody. Huge, right? It's amazing when the ball goes in, you become a better offensive coach. It's just amazing. So I would just say, that when you can make a team, a geometry lesson, right? And you can make a team defend all 5 of your players, then they have to guard the whole floor. And when you have guys that can't shoot, it's, when you're playing good teams, college is an over scouted game versus the pros where they play 82 and the players are, on 28% of the games are in a coma from travel and fatigue. That doesn't happen in college. We have time to prepare. Scouting reports are locked in, and teams shrink the floor and don't guard guys that can't shoot. So Tiger is all he is. I mean, aside from the points, it as Ben was saying, you were talking about, it is opening up the floor, and just geometrically, it stretches the defense. So I've had, many talks, friends of mine, guys like, pro guys are comical at times. They say, you guys, college guys, you don't understand spacing. Yeah, we do. Our guys just don't shoot the ball like the best 300 guys in the world that actually get in NBA games. We space the floor, but the defense doesn't stretch on guys that can't shoot. So Tiger's shooting is definitely, it stretches our opponent's defense. But really right now, to be honest, I haven't seen it. It's like, I don't think anybody believes it. If you watch us play, teams, it means to me, teams are guarding him like they did last year.
When do they come around to start? Yeah, no, in this last game, he was left open for some wide open looks.
I think that's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I hope they don't come around.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at some point, if he continues it in Pac-12 play, which I don't see why he wouldn't, because he right now his confidence is rolling at an all-time high. But we'll see. But I to this point, I haven't seen a change in the way he's been defended. Now, part of that is teams picking their poison, because you got other guys, and if you play him as a shooter, he becomes a distributor. And they, so you may say, well, you know what, we got a better chance to win if we keep him out of the paint and don't let him find all these other guys, even though we know he can shoot. So it may just be, it's not that they don't know. It could be, sometimes that when you're playing certain teams, you got to pick your poison.
Let's go to Sam Cronin, SI.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
What's up, Sam?
Not much. So, big night last night. Obviously, the Oregon teams were playing, but the championship game was last night too. Which one did you watch?
It was easy. The Oregon State game was a great game. I had two going. I had the football game on the side, but Oregon State was a wild game too. Very, obviously it's a rivalry game for them. Packed house, fans going nuts. I saw a lot of rivalry stuff going on. Some players talking in the stands from Oregon. So, it was a heck of a battle. Oregon missed some free throws. They really struggled at the foul line that made that game close.
And then with both of those teams coming this week, what are you kind of expecting, especially Oregon playing them first? What did you see from them last night in the past few games from them that you think will challenge you guys?
Well, early on, Sam, they struggled to score. They have a lot of new parts. Trying to plug transfers in is not always seamless. Where last year they really had a returning squad. They were a well-oiled machine. So they struggle to score. And this year it's taken them. Now it's taken them some time. But in their last 5 games, they're averaging 78 a game. So they've started pushing the ball to try to stay out of getting bogged down in the half court. Williams he has been non-existent. And then last night he was huge for them. Harmon's getting comfortable in their offense. So, Will Richardson's always been a talented guy. So, typical Dane Altman, if he's got a bunch of new guys, it's just going to take him some time. But we all know it's just a matter of time before he gets them playing like a well-oiled unit. And, all you got. So you got to look at their last 5 games statistically, where their points per game is way higher than it was in the previous games. So I think it's also, it affects your morale when you can't score. And I think they really struggle with that early, but I think they're definitely past that.
Let's go back to Ben.
You mentioned the packed house. Are you guys going to have a packed house, or is there going to be fans allowed on Thursday?
Yeah, that's a question for our administration, Ben. Obviously, you know where I stand on that. Can't be enough people in there for me. So I watched a football game last night indoors with 75,000 people. So you can imagine where I stand. I haven't, I've made that pretty clear, but that they don't include me in that one.
And also, we talked a lot about having to go up to Oregon twice last season. Is it nice for them to finally be coming down to Pauley?
Well, let's hope we're not jinxed. Let's make sure this game happens Thursday. So, it's my 3rd year, and I haven't seen Dane Altman walk into Pauley Pavilion yet. But that doesn't mean that doesn't equal victory just because the game's at Pauley Pavilion. So it's, that stuff happens now in the era of unbalanced conferences, and then throw in COVID on top of it. So, we'll see if Pauley's empty or packed. That could probably, have a difference. My obvious concerns would be, Ben, one, support of our players and this group of guys that has been special to the university and guys that came back to school. And 2 is competitive advantage versus disadvantage, because when we go on the road, we're definitely playing the packed houses.
Okay, let's finish up here with Rick Kimbrell from Bruin Blitz.
Rick,
hi, Coach. Was that?
you're back.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. Good to see you, buddy. Ben kind of stole my thunder about the fans, but when I saw Jaime come onto the court last Thursday or Saturday after seeing what happened to him, you've had a lot of tough guys. You've coached at Cincinnati. Where does he rate as far as mental toughness, physical toughness, players you have coached in the past?
He's up there at the top, no question about it. I think what happens sometimes, if a guy can't score, he's all we talk about is that guy's toughness, right? Because you can't talk about his offense. So we exaggerate his toughness, his defense, his competitiveness, his rebounding, his dive on the floor, whatever. Jaime is a scorer that's a warrior as a competitor. I would see on this team, I think, the reason we've become what we've become is I would throw Jules in there. I would throw Tiger in there, and I would throw Cody in there. As far as physically tough guys that have played through injury, played major minutes to get our program where it's at. But yes, pointedly with Jaime, I think, my point, I guess, Rick, would be sometimes it gets overlooked on guys that can score.